Imagine this. Apple walks on stage, holds up a tiny tablet, and says, "This is the most powerful small-screen device we've ever made. Not an iPhone. No, not a Mac. The iPad Mini 8. If Apple gets this right, this thing could replace your Kindle, your Nintendo Switch, your travel laptop, even your notebook, all in one pocketable device. And if they get it wrong, it'll just be another cute but overpriced gadget nobody really needs." In this video, we're going deep into what the iPad Mini 8 could actually be. The upgrades it absolutely needs, the wild features Apple might be crazy enough to try, and a few controversial moves that could make this the most talked about iPad in years. And stay with me until the end, because the last part is the real twist. What the iPad Mini 8 might mean for the future of all iPads, not just the Mini. Let's start with the big question. Who is the iPad Mini 8 really for? Because if you live in the US and you already have a big phone, maybe an iPhone Pro Max, plus a laptop, plus a TV, why should you care about a smaller tablet? Here's the thing. People who fall in love with the iPad Mini fall hard. It's the device you grab off the couch, toss in a bag, use on a plane, read in bed, sketch ideas at a coffee shop, run your smart home, or hand to a kid. And you don't worry about it. It's light, it's quick, it doesn't feel like work. The problem is, the current iPad Mini is stuck in this weird place. It's fun, but it's not quite powerful enough to be a serious work device. It's just limited enough to be annoying for gamers, artists, and power users. So if Apple really wants the iPad Mini 8 to be a hit, it has to cross that line from nice little gadget to essential everyday tool. And that starts with the one thing you stare at every single second you use it, the display. If Apple wants the iPad Mini 8 to feel instantly different the second you turn it on, there's one move that changes everything. A higher refresh rate display, promotion, 120 Hz. Right now, a lot of people love the Mini, but once you've used a modern iPhone or an iPad Pro with that smooth scrolling, going back to 60 Hz feels cheap, like buying a sports car and finding out it's speed limited. Imagine scrolling through social media, flipping through comics, or playing games on an 8-inch screen that feels buttery smooth. Not just good for gamers, but for reading, sketching, even handwriting notes with the Apple Pencil. Now layer on this, what if Apple brings an old, or at least a seriously upgraded LCD panel to the Mini, with deeper blacks, better contrast, and higher brightness for outdoor use? Think about reading on a plane, outside on your porch, or in bed at night. The Mini has always been amazing for reading, but a next-gen screen could make it the ultimate digital book, comic, and article machine. That's the kind of upgrade you notice every single day, not just a benchmark number you forget about. Of course, a beautiful display is useless if the device can't keep up. So let's talk power, because this is where the iPad Mini 8 could quietly become a monster. Right now, Apple has two paths. Path 1. Throw in the latest A-series chip. It's the same family as the iPhone, and call it a day. It'll be fast, efficient, good enough. Path 2. Apple does what a lot of people are secretly hoping for, and drops an M-series chip into this tiny thing. Picture that for a second. A tablet you can hold in one hand that has laptop-class power, a true little Mac in disguise. If they did that, here's what it unlocks. Real multitasking without the Mini. Feeling like it's struggling. You're watching YouTube. You've got notes open, maybe a browser with multiple tabs. A game paused in the background and nothing stutters. Gaming that actually competes with portable consoles, big AAA style, mobile games, cloud gaming services, and, where it's allowed, high-end emulation. All with headroom to spare. Serious creator workflows, editing 4K video on a plane, editing raw photos in the field, recording and mixing audio on the go, all from something that literally fits in a jacket pocket. If Apple really leans into this power, the iPad Mini 8 stops being the cute small iPad and becomes the tiny computer you can always have on you. Where this gets even more interesting is how Apple handles RAM and storage. If they ship the base model with tiny storage and limited RAM, they'll lock the Mini into that fun side device category. But give it enough room for apps, games, videos, and serious projects. And this thing becomes the default travel device for a ton of people. So you've got the screen, you've got the power, but there's something else the Mini has to nail. How it feels in your hand? The current design is already pretty modern, with slim bezels, flat sides, and USB-C. But to really make the iPad Mini 8 stand out, Apple doesn't have to change everything. They have to change how it feels to live with. Imagine slightly thinner bezels without making it hard to hold. A lighter body so using it one-handed for reading doesn't make your wrist ache. Maybe a subtle curve or texture so it's less slippery, especially if you're using it without a case. Now think about colors. This sounds superficial, but it matters for a device you see every day. Bolder colors like the iMac or deep, rich, pro-style finishes, because if the iPad Mini 8 is going to be your personal everywhere device, it should feel more like you and less like a generic slab. Then there's one of the most controversial questions: Face ID or Touch ID? Right now, the Mini uses Touch ID in the power button. It works, it's fine. But Face ID on a small tablet would be a game changer for quick unlocks when it's docked. On a stand or sitting on your desk, if Apple wants to keep costs down and battery life high, they might stick with Touch ID. The real move might not be which sensor they use, but how fast and invisible they can make the unlock experience. Feel. You tap it, and it's just ready. No delay. No thinking. That kind of it just disappears design is what makes people actually love a device, even if they can't explain why. Now let's talk about something almost nobody asks for directly, but everybody notices when it's missing: audio and cameras. No, the iPad Mini 8 is not going to replace a Hollywood camera. Just think about how you really use a small tablet in daily life. You're on a Zoom call, you're FaceTiming with family, you're recording a quick TikTok or short, you're watching a movie in bed without headphones. If Apple upgrades the front camera with center stage and better quality, suddenly the Mini becomes your favorite little video calling machine, a thing you grab for quick meetings or for talking to friends and family. If they improve the speakers with deeper bass, clearer mids, and proper stereo separation, watching movies and listening to podcasts on this small tablet becomes surprisingly satisfying. And you no longer feel like you have to use Bluetooth headphones every single time. Now combine that with the idea of using the Mini as a content creation tool. Drawing thumbnails, editing photos for Instagram, recording voiceovers. You don't need the best camera ever. You need something good enough, fast enough, and convenient enough that you actually do the thing instead of telling yourself you'll do it later on your laptop. This is where accessories come in. Apple has two big levers to pull with the iPad Mini 8, the Apple Pencil, and some form of keyboard or stand. First, the Pencil. If Apple gives the Mini 8 full support for the latest Apple Pencil features like hover, ultra-latency input, and maybe even new gesture controls, this thing turns into the ultimate couch sketchbook and note-taking machine. Picture sitting in a lecture, in a meeting, or on a flight, scribbling notes, drawing diagrams, marking up PDFs. No bulky laptop, no loud keyboard. Just you and a small tablet that feels like a notebook with infinite pages. Now imagine Apple designing a new compact keyboard case just for the Mini. It's not a big laptop-style thing, but more like a slim, foldable cover that gives you a decent little keyboard when you need to type longer emails, write scripts, or take notes. If Apple leans into that, the Mini 8 becomes this hybrid. Half Kindle, half MacBook Air, with a gaming console and sketchbook thrown in. But none of this matters if the software doesn't get smarter. A lot of iPad power is wasted right now because of iPadOS limitations, and if Apple wants the iPad Mini 8 to feel like a truly new experience, it's not just about throwing more hardware at it, it's about unlocking what it can do. Smarter multitasking that's actually easy to use on a smaller screen. Better external display support, so you can plug into a monitor and get a desktop-style layout when you're at a desk. More pro apps tuned for a smaller canvas video editors. Design tools. Audio workstations with layouts that feel natural on 8 inches, not cramped. And on the flip side, a more relaxed media mode for when you just want to chill. A reading mode that optimizes the display, dims distractions. Maybe even adjusts how the OS looks when you're just going through books, articles, and comics. That contrast power when you need it, calm when you don't, is exactly what could make the iPad Mini 8 addictive. Now let's talk about the part everyone loves to hate, the price. This is where Apple could either make a bold, user-friendly move or lean fully into the Apple tax. If they position the iPad Mini 8 as a premium, almost pro-level small tablet, it's going to be pricey. And for a US audience that already has a lot of screens, Apple has to justify that price in a very clear way. Why should you buy this instead of just getting a bigger phone? Why this instead of a cheaper full-size iPad or a used iPad Pro? The answer has to be simple. Because the Mini 8 gives you something the others don't. Pocketable power.